Minecraft's best XP farm. Not only is this little beauty so easy to build, but it can rocket you over 30 levels in less than 3 minutes. How you doing, friends? It's me, Wattles, and welcome to a brand new tutorial. Today, I am going to show you how to build this super duper XP farm. Members Club, there's a world download to this exact farm that I'm going to build in the video out right now. Now let's go ahead and start by taking a look at materials to build this farm. Dude, it's so cheap. We're going to need a campfire, 3 walls of any type, and about 32 or so building blocks. This is a dispenser. We're going to use armadillo to power this farm, so probably having spider eye to breed up more armadillo, that's a great idea. And then in order to actually get this farm to activate, we will need to have any undead mobs, so something like a zombie. That's perfect. To use the farm, I recommend having a good sword, but technically you don't have to. It'll just make it easier. And then we will be utilizing a little bit of potions in the setup as well. So down here in non-exact amounts, these supplies for your potions. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe for even more farms. And if you've got any questions about the design, you need some help, throw them down in the comments below or on my community tab, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Tragically, this farm, because armadillo mechanics are slightly different on Bedrock Edition, is only for Minecraft and Java. At least until they fix the armadillo. Location. Where the heck should you build this farm? Well, great news. You could build this farm literally anywhere. Just about. With that being said, though, I've got a big disclaimer. Inside of the game, we have this little thing called infested blocks. If you search it up in the creative inventory, you can see every single current infested block. You do not want to build this farm too close to any blocks that can be infested. So building this farm on, say, the surface, for example, that should be fine. But building it in the middle of a cave, well, you might want to do a little bit of preparation and remove the stone that is nearby so silverfish don't get out of the farm. And the same thing goes for the blocks that you are going to use to build this farm out of. You could use just about anything except any block that can be infested. And one final small disclaimer before we do the build, this thing will ruin other XP farms for you. It is so good and effective and easy to build that once you build one of these things in your world, you will never be able to go back. So go ahead and, consider that one. This farm is going to utilize armadillo constantly taking damage, except they don't really actually take any damage in order to summon in basically like a million silverfish. To begin our build, we are going to go 2 blocks off of the ground, place a campfire, and then go ahead and remove those 2 blocks. Now, all around this campfire, we are going to need to build up with some building blocks, except on the front side, the side, and the other side, we don't need those building blocks. We can go ahead and pull them out. Instead, we're going to build a little bit of a falling chute, if you will, all the way around this campfire. Go ahead and copy my block placement that I am placing down right now, except the ones that I misplaced, in order to set up the basic shape for this farm. So basically, we've got a campfire in the middle, solid wall, upside down T-shape on the back, and then we've got some blocks cleverly placed around the front of this thing in an approximate diamond to triangle shape. We do this pattern so silverfish can shoot out of the left, right, and front side of the campfire. Alright, after that, we're going to go ahead and build our wall all the way down to the floor on the back side. Then on our far left and far right side, we'll build down 1 block and then place a wall. Any kind of wall will do here. On the front side, like the very point of it, same exact thing. Finally, we have these tiny little gaps in between where our walls are. We'll go ahead and build these all the way down to the ground with solid building blocks. Then went ahead and swapped some blocks out on this farm to maybe fancy it up a little bit, and we end up with something looking like this. The white blocks are inside of the farm where the silverfish will be able to move around. The orange blocks that I placed down are to highlight the danger zone that I'll explain when we talk about using the farm. With a lot of our build looking pretty good now, next up, we need to talk about powering this farm. The armadillo. The armadillo is going to be the king of this farm. Armadillo, if you did not realize, like spider eye. You could feed them a spider eye, and they will make sweet love to each other, creating a brand new baby armadillo. Back over at our farm, we need armadillo inside of this thing. In order to pull that off, we can go ahead and hold a spider eye, get some armadillo's attention, build a temporary staircase up to the top of the thing, walk over the campfire, and drop them in. But We don't really want the farm to activate right off the bat, so we could use a shovel to turn off the campfire, and then you might, right next to the campfire, want to place some temporary blocks in there, so that way the babies will not escape this farm, and you could pile up a bunch of armadillo inside of this thing. In order to get this started, it's kind of just like a cow crusher. I recommend getting 2 armadillo inside of the thing, and then basically continuously breeding them up using spider eye. You stand at the top and, spiral your mouse around, try and target the armadillo, and basically get them to breed. Technically, you could pull this off with as little as 1 armadillo inside of the farm, but the more armadillo you are able to lure into this farm, the better it is going to perform, up to a maximum of 24. If you are having difficulty breeding the armadillo inside of the farm, no big deal. Save 2 on the outside of it, repeat the process over and over, and continue breeding them up until you have however many armadillo you want inside of the farm. Do not light the fire in this farm until you have an undead mob nearby. With fully grown armadillo inside of this farm, you could actually pull out these temporary blocks. The adult armadillo is too big to move through the gap. Over on the back side of it, the flat side, we'll place a solid block that we'll leave in the farm, even with below the campfire on that flat wall. Then a temporary one, and then forever blocks all the way around it. After that, we can go ahead and build those forever blocks up a little bit more, and we end up with a small chamber. Armadillo, they're adorable, and when they go into their shell, they're basically invincible, but they're also big chickens. Any kind of undead mob gets near the armadillo, and it'll actually turn into a ball and stay in that ball formation. When it's in its dillo ball form, low amounts of damage actually will deal with no damage to the armadillo at all, even though it looks like it does. We are going to need to get any undead mob in this chamber standing on the green wool block that I placed down. In order to pull this off and make your life a little bit easier, build a staircase temporarily going all the way up. On the sides here, go ahead and build the walls up a little bit more. I didn't do it here, but you might want to cover up the armadillo pen as well, temporarily. In order to help yourself make your life easier to get an undead mob inside of this thing, you could place a trap door and open it up. Grab a name tag and put a name on it, whatever the heck you want. Remember that in Modern Era, you can craft these things now, so it's so easy to get. And so now all we need to do is lure any undead mob up into the farm. In order to do this easier, you have your trap door. Go ahead and move across it, open it up, stand on the other side, wait for your mob to move forward, and it should fall right in. After it does, go ahead and name tag it, and to get it to stop jumping, you can hit the trap door. If you happen to have a mob variant that might say burn in the daylight, you could also have it standing in water. It literally does not matter at all. After you get a mob into this chamber, you name tag the mob so it will not despawn. Place a building block over the top of this thing so it is fully blocked in. Alright, so a little bit of time later, I've got my undead mob in the farm. I have a bunch of armadillo over on top of an unlit campfire. And I went ahead and pulled out just about all of my temporary blocks here. The final thing we will need on our farm is a dispenser facing down at the armadillo. In order to pull this off, a temporary block floating above where the armadillo are, and then a dispenser. You go ahead and get down low and place it against that floating block, and it'll look right down. Go ahead and pull that block out, place a button on the dispenser, and now it's potion time, baby. Somewhere near your farm, it's a great idea to set up some sort of brewing operation with, ideally, if you want to make your life easy, 3 brewing stands. A water source nearby in order to renew the water for the potions is a great idea too. In our potion setup here, we will have 3 different steps that we need to pull off. First step of the potion that we need to make is water bottles inside of it, nether wart at the top to make awkward potions. Next step of the operation, take awkward potions, put a stone block up in the top of the brewing stand to make a potion of infestation. Third step, last and not least, with our potions of infestation, place gunpowder in the top of a brewing stand to turn these normal potions into splash potions. Then, after you've got all your potions set up and made inside of the dispenser, go ahead and put your splash potions of infestation. Now, in order to run the farm, we are going to press the button up on the top of it. And this is where your good sword comes in. You definitely don't need it to use this farm, but if you can get something with sweeping edge and maybe some sharpness or Bane of Arthropods on it, you will be better off. Go ahead and hit the button on this farm to splash the armadillo with infestation potion, and then realize you didn't light the campfire. So, very carefully, we break a block down near this farm, look at the bottom of the campfire, use a flint and steel on it, and there we go. The farm is up and running, baby. That's all we need to do. It's going to run, well, for as long as this potion is, which is 3 minutes long. Now, using this farm, it's a no-brainer. With your good sword, maybe some sweeping edge, stand on the side of it and swing the sword at the silverfish. Anywhere where there are orange blocks is technically the danger zone. Silverfish kind of have this crazy reach going on, so if you step into, like, right next to this farm, the silverfish might be able to hit you, and that damage can kind of add up quick, so be really careful there. But if you just stand, like, a block or so back and just swing at the silverfish, I mean, it's so simple. This thing is so good for XP. It's so easy, dude. All I need to do is stand here and I can get all of the experience I could ever dream of needing. Maybe I'm enchanting, maybe I'm mending up all of my tools, whatever. Whatever you need to do, it's so easy. Move from window to window to find even more silverfish, and there you go. There's your super simple XP farm. It's beautiful, man. If you really want to supercharge your XP operation, consider building multiple ones of these things next to each other and running them all at the same time. And so that's it. Enjoy your build. As long as Mojang doesn't change armadillo mechanics, this thing will work until the end of time. Any extra questions? If you haven't yet, drop them down below. My community tab, it's kind of like a subreddit except all built into YouTube. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. Channel members, remember, there's a world download out right now. Good luck healing up your tools, or enchanting, or just getting all the way up to level 7,000,003. Goodbye, friends. I'll see you tomorrow.